So you're looking at these high-end Tineco wet dry vacuums and you're trying to wonder what's the difference between the Tineco S7 Stretch Steam and the Tineco S7 Ultra, because they look very similar, except there's going to be one big difference. The S7 Stretch Steam is coming with the power of steam. Now, the difference is that the Tineco Stretch Ultra does not have that steam capabilities, but it will have the capabilities to be used with detergent. Because if you're getting the steam version, you're most likely not going to be using detergent, because if it's ever in steam mode, it's not meant to be ever touching detergent overall. So I've added some oatmeal to this oat milk, and I'm going to see how well our unit can pick it up. The key part of the oatmeal test is not just because you're looking at it and saying, I could pick that up with a paper towel first. It's to test if the machines are going to be able to pick it up, but also, do you need the power of steam on the S7 Stretch Steam versus something like in the S7 Ultra? So putting them side by side, let's see how they perform against each other. And you're going to notice that if you're looking, the Ultra is going to have that edge-to-edge cleaning in the front. The steam version on the Tineco does not. But is it going to affect the overall performance? The brushes are going to be the same. Technically, there's going to be more areas for the oatmeal to clog up on your Steam edition because it's going to be a little bit more of a closed loop here. But as we do the test, I don't find any difference in pushing the units forward. They both come with easy self-propulsion systems. It does give you kind of like a boost forward or boost in maneuverability. And once we start picking up the oatmeal, everything just gets sucked up so quickly because both are going to have a ton of suction power. They have pretty much the same amount of suction power. They're also coming with the same filters inside the dirty water tank. As you can see, the oatmeal is getting separated from the liquids very easily, and in one pass it picks up everything. The only difference I would say is that if you're using them on auto mode or you're using them in just in suction mode, I do notice that my Steam edition uses ever so slightly more water, but that just could be something that I'm feeling. But both of them are going to be doing a great job, and in about 3 passes it picked everything up. If you want to do a better job though, what you can do is just go over the floor again, maybe about 2 or 3 more times, just so that you pick up any of the sticky residue and then you're kind of washing it away. And if you look at the separation between the particles and the liquid, the S7, both of them do a good job because they have the same container, dirty water tank, and they are able to separate them against each other. Next, let's test out the Tineco S7 Stretch Ultra on some syrup alone, so without the Stretch Steam. Because one of the big things for me is that I don't want people to think that you necessarily have to get the Steam model. The Steam model has its benefits, but if you're normally using it on floors and you don't have areas that traditionally require steam, or your floors are not going to be able to handle the steam, well, the Ultra is basically the Steam model with almost 97% of the same performance, except you can use it with detergent, and that's a big difference. You are not supposed to use detergent with the Steam model. It could potentially damage the internal components because of how the water is going to evaporate. And a similar test with the S7 Stretch Steam for the syrup as well as chocolate milk also makes quick work, but the steam is going to actually heat it up, so it will smell a little bit like breakfast, like cereal at the same time, but it doesn't have a difference in terms of the overall performance. I will say that it is going to be less sticky afterwards, but that might not be something that important, especially if you're going to use enough water. Where the drawback is that with the Steam model you will be using more water because steam uses water and it uses more power. So on the S7 Stretch Steam, let's activate the heated self-cleaning.
Heated self-cleaning and heated drying are about to start. Heated self-cleaning has started. Sucking the brush roller.
Where Tineco did make a huge upgrade is going to be in the self-cleaning cycle. Now, Tineco has the best self-cleaning cycle out of any of the wet dry vacuums because it flushes their units with the most pressure and the most water. So if you're looking at how much water this is using, it's going to do the normal things with the rollers going front and back. But look at how much pressure. It really flushes everything through, but it will make quick work of all the water in your clean water tank, so you have to refill it more often. The S7 Stretch Steam also gives you dual drying modes. So if you do the flash dry mode, that takes about 5 minutes, and that's something that we kind of notice on your S7 Pro, but is not found in anywhere else. For the messiest stains, the secret is really to just run it and clean it, then let it self-clean itself, and then do it again. Because if you just use the same roller brush and it's already very messy and it's sticky and it's icky, it's not going to be able to pick up the same stains. It's like trying to clean out the same area with the same paper towel. So if you're looking how effective the drying is on your S7 here, the Ultra, well, the drying is very effective even if you don't have the heated drying. It's already about 80% dry. The other thing about it is that you can see that it has removed all of that strawberry syrup and that chocolate so that it is back to new. So even that, the self-clean cycle on your Tinecos on these S7 Ultra units are very good. So the heated drying on the S7 Stretch Steam is pretty loud. It's going to sound very much like your hair dryer on max. So we just finished the heated drying session on the Tineco S7 Stretch Steam. So let me see how clean the rollers are. So this is after it picked up all of the syrup, after it picked up all of the wet messes like the oatmeal and the chocolate milk. So I want to take this off here and we're going to see how dry the roller is. So the roller is, I would say, pretty dry. It's actually quite amazing how dry this is overall. So the self-cleaning session on your Tineco is better than before. It's going to be more powerful, but at the same time, it's definitely going to use more water. So if you're worried about the water, your Stretch is going to be a pretty good option because it does heat up very quickly. It will heat up better than what you get on the Tineco S7 Ultra. And it actually removes most of the stains without having to use detergent. So we're going to see how dry our mop pad is, and this is only after 5 minutes. So we're placing our paper towel on, just rubbing it on, guys. And look at that. It is pretty dry. I wouldn't say that it's 100% dry. I would say that it is 98%, maybe even 99% dry. So pretty dry indeed. And when you're looking at overall battery life, Tineco has really upgraded the amount of battery or the size of the battery that comes inside their Steam model. So the Steam model is going to give you 80 minutes of runtime. And if you're just using it on Steam mode, it's going to be giving you 30 minutes. And that's because it's giving you that 6400 milliampere hour battery. That's basically the same battery you get inside of the S7 Stretch Ultra. If you're wondering what the features are on your Tineco S7 Ultra, well, let's just list them off. It comes with 50 minutes of runtime, which is going to be a little longer than what you get with the Tineco S5. It does now come with the flash dry, so you have the flash dry cleaning system. So you have the flash dry cleaning base that we see on a number of the flash dry models from Tineco, as well as it's going to be able to use that 185-degree hot air to effectively dry everything. But the Ultra models are coming with improved self-cleaning functions, so it really just shoots water and jets of water through all of its pipes, so that it's going to have just better overall self-cleaning as well as drying or shortened drying times. Tineco is still utilizing the same design we see on the S5 as well as the S6 and the other S7s and the S9 out there, where it's using that Tineco MHCBS technology. So the dirty water and the clean water are never commingling. So they're always going in one direction. So if there's clean water coming in, that is going to be on the floor, and then the dirty water is going to be coming out. So it's always in this kind of cycle, so you do not have that stale water. We saw this on the S7s and the S9s, that there's going to be this anti-tangle comb here, and that comb is going to do a great job just scraping the material and all of the stuff off of your roller. So if you have pet hair or you have some debris, it's not going to just go stuck into the tank or get stuck around the roller. It's actually going to get removed and then go into your dirty water tank. However, one thing your Tineco S7 Ultra is lacking is that there is no solution in here. So there's no separate tank for the solution. You put everything inside of the clean water tank. So that means that it's going to be using solution very quickly. And that's because if you're looking at this system, when you now have that improved self-cleaning cycle, it does that because it uses more water. And if you're using it with detergent, it's going to do a better job cleaning the brush roll. We tested it out. But it also means that you will have to use more detergent because it's going to use the water faster. So there's no real way around that because it uses water more frequently than before. And if you want to just take a closer look at the overall build quality, it has a lot of the design elements that we know from Tineco. They have this mirrored finish, they're going to have your display here, and they have the buttons on the handle. So not a lot of big differences between the Tineco S7 Flash Dry and the Tineco S7 Ultra, but Tineco saved a lot of those differences for their Stretch Steam. So the Stretch Steam has all the capabilities of the Ultra here. It has the same modes. It's going to have the max mode. It's going to have the suction mode. But now it comes with the steam mode, and that steam mode is going to be able to generate the steam quickly. In my testing, if you have this from a cold start, it takes about a minute for the steam to really start pumping out. But if you have this at a warm start, that means you already used it in the past 30 minutes. The steam will pump out in about 30 seconds. So now you can see that the steam is being directly pumped onto the floor via these injection holes. Prior models for the Steam did not place the steam as close to the floor, and it wasn't as controlled as what you get here. There's also going to be an improved scraper tool. So if you look at the attachment here, there's going to be an improved scraper here so that it's not going to have the steam going all over the place. It's really going to be focusing that steam in one place, and everything is just easier to keep clean this way. It would have been nice if Tineco had offered that auto detergent tank here, because you can hypothetically just use the Tineco S7 Stretch Steam without the steam, because it has the same functions you get on the Ultra, the same modes. The displays are going to be just about the same. It's just that this one is giving you the power of steam, as well as it gives you a much brighter LED light setup. So the light bar is going to allow you to see better on the floor. So how does that produce that steam? Well, it's using something they call the hyperstream technology, because it's going to heat the steam up to about 284 degrees Fahrenheit, which is super hot. It is hot to the touch. It will burn you if you try to touch it. But it's actually going to cool down very quickly, because once it touches air, it's not going to be at 284 degrees Fahrenheit. But that means it's also going to be able to effectively dissolve just stubborn grease, as well as peanut butter and any other dried waste or sticky residue you have on your floor. Like, it did a great job on the peanut butter test we had, but it also did a great job on the dried coffee test. Both the Stretch Steam and the Ultra are going to be now in this lay flat 180 degree design. And that's something we see pretty much universally across all of the updated wet dry vacuums from various manufacturers. It's just that another good thing about what the coreless model is bringing is that it gives you dual stage heating. So instead of just producing the steam and just pumping it out in one shot and then reheating it again, you're getting way less condensation, because it's going to be pumping out the steam and it continuously heats the steam, so that it's never going to really have that lag. You still get a little bit of lag if you let it run the steamer for like 5 minutes, but then you'll notice that once you turn it on or off, or you just let it heat up again in about 30 seconds, it's going to produce the same amount of steam again. If you're looking at your Ultra, it comes with a 1 liter clean water tank and a 0.72 liter dirty water tank, the same size you get on our S7 Stretch Steam. And the Ultra version will also heat up the water to about 185 degrees Fahrenheit, and then it's going to clean itself, and then it's going to dry itself with 185 degree Fahrenheit hot air. So inside of the charging base, it's going to be producing that hot air, but also that heated water makes sure that all of the material or debris on that brush roll is going to be cleaner in the long run. And the good thing about the Tinecos is that they still come with their Floor 1 dirt detection system. And that means it's going to be adjusting its suction power based on how dirty your floors are. Ultimately, which one of these Tineco S7s do I recommend between the Stretch Steam and the Stretch Ultra here? Well, as someone who absolutely adores my Tineco S7 Pro because it has electrolyzed water, it's going to have the most advanced LED display. These do not come with that, and they're not going to have the same beauty as what you get on the Tineco S9 Artisan Pro. However, if I had to recommend either one of these, I really do like the Tineco S7 Stretch Steam. I think having those LED displays, having the ability of steam, as well as having the ability just to use it on auto mode, makes it more versatile than what you see with your Tineco S7 Stretch Ultra. But if your floors are mostly wood floors, then I would actually say I would get the Ultra just because you're not going to use the steam. So does it justify getting the more premium model? I'm not sure. That's going to be really up to you. I know a lot of these units now come with that 180-degree flat surface cleaning. I know a lot of these units are going to come with better batteries as well as better self-drying and self-heated sessions. But the Tineco S7 Stretch Steam, it just has the best of the best in terms of the best self-cleaning cycle. It's also going to dry very quickly. And I think personally it's going to be a good overall value because you can alternate between modes. It's just that it doesn't come with an auto detergent dispenser, which is one of the main drawbacks here. But you are getting the long-lasting battery at about 80 minutes of normal use, which is way longer. We're talking about 20, 30, 40% longer than all the competition in terms of battery life for wet dry vacuums. So that's why I really do like the Tineco S7 Stretch Steam over the Ultra. So with that, thanks for watching, everybody. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment box below, and please hit that like or subscribe button. It really does help support our channel. I go out of my way to test these things for you guys, and I love all the support. So I'll catch you next time for our next Ultra review. See you soon. This is David with the French Glow signing off. Bye, bye, bye.